We are now moving into the second section of this canto, section 123, and we are going to meet the second Madonna, the Madonna of Might. We saw last time the Madonna of Divine Pity, the mother of sorrow and suffering, and she was told that what she lacks is strength. What she lacks is strength. And Savitri assured her that when she will come back, she will give her the divine strength. Now, from that, she is now moving on the upward route and going to meet the second Madonna, the Madonna of Might, the mother of strength. And she will be given later the wisdom. Strength has to go with wisdom. What we call Kshatriya Teja should be accompanied with Brahma Teja. So she will get the wisdom later on. Now, in the meanwhile, this Madonna is going to narrate to Savitri who she is, what she is here for, what is her work in the inner world. So, let's move on to that. On pass she in her spirit's upward route. She, of course, stands for Savitri. Savitri is moving in the inner countries, in the domain of the spirit. Her journey is in the different regions of the inner country of the spirit. And therefore, it is a climb. In the subliminal, she is climbing up level above level. And on pass she in her spirit's upward route, the climbing route. Now, of course, the climb, the upward, the rising route in the inner countries is of a different kind than the slopes of the ascending heavens in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, you have got planes above planes, world above world in a climbing hierarchy. Now, it is not that climb, it is in the inner country itself, she is going upward like that. So, on pass she, her spirit's upward route. Now, you can see here again this beautiful thing. On pass she. He doesn't say on she passed on. No. That would be terrible poetry, you see. That is terrible poetry. On pass she in her spirit's upward route. An ardent grandeur climbed with ferns and rocks. The trees are there, ferns are there, rocks are there, climbing up. A quiet wind flattered the heart of warmth. A finer perfume breathed from slender trees. So small, gentle trees are there and they're scattering perfume all the while. Well, this is what happens in the case of a yogi. When the yogi moves in the subtle world, he breathes different kinds of airs, feels different colors, senses different perfumes, hears different sounds, but this is happening within, in the case of Savitri, within. A quiet wind flattered the heart to warm, a finer perfume breathed from slender tree. All beautiful grew, subtle and high and strange. So that is the joy of going upward in the inner country. Subtle and high and strange. Here on a boulder, carved like a huge throne. So there is a big, huge granite rock, and it's carved like a throne. And in the throne, on the throne, is sitting this Madonna. Here on a boulder, carved like a huge throne, a woman sat in gold and purple sheen. That is royalty, that is the majesty, that is sovereignty of this lady. She is a queen. She is a goddess of governance, majesty, strength, like that. And this word, gold and purple, these are the typical signs of the royalty, of being a king of a high quality. You know about the purple sails of Cleopatra. She was riding on a boat on the river Nile, and the boat had purple sails. Purple, that is a sign of majesty, of royalty, of richness. This word purple appears in Savitri 14 times in all. And every time there is a beauty in that word purple, you see. And there is slight difference in the shade of purple also. Each time that purple appears, it comes with a slightly different brightness, different color, different shade. But purple always connotes the sense of royalty, the embroidery, the richness, all those things are there in the purple. Yeah, there are 14 occurrences of purple in Savitri, and of gold. There are 48 occurrences of in Savitri. 48 times the word is gold. Gold is supposed to be a sign of richness, of affluence, of wealth, and also of divine knowledge. Of divine knowledge. A woman sat in gold and purple sheen, armed with a trident and a thunderbolt. So she has got in her hand the trident, Trishul as we call it, and thunderbolt, Vajra. So she is having in one arm thunderbolt, in the other arm this trident, and she is sitting on that throne there, and with the trident and the thunderbolt, her feet upon a couchant lion's back. So she is sitting in the throne there, stone. Down below at the feet is sitting her lion. Again, a majestic beast full of power and strength sitting there, and her feet are on the lion's back, couchant lion's back, always ready at a service, at a command, the lion. Her feet upon a couchant lion's back, a formidable smile curved round her lips. So she is smiling there, and it's not very visible, this smile, but the way the lips are curved shows the strength the smile has. Yes, my smile can conquer all the adversaries in the world. I have strength in my smile which will defeat every enemy in the world, you see. Curved round her lips, heaven fire laughed in the corners of her eyes. So what is coming out from her eyes is the fire of heaven, constantly blazing out. Such powerful eyes are hers, you see. Heaven fire laughed in the corners of her eyes, her body a mass of courage and heavenly strength. She menaced the triumph of the nether gods, menaced, thwarted. All the enemy mites she will kill, she will destroy. She menaced them, thwarted their attacks. She menaced the triumph of the nether gods. Well, nether gods, this is important. Now, these nether gods are below the world where she is sitting. She is sitting in the world of inner mind. We'll see that thing shortly. She is sitting in the inner world of mind. This Madonna. So mind had the inner world, and in that world of mind, she is there. So all these nether gods are below this inner world of mind, in the subvital, submental regions. She menaced the triumph of the nether gods. Well, he says thwarted here. She is one who can attack them, who can defeat them. But she is not one who can eliminate them. Her strength, her scope of operation is that limited. She can prevent their attack, protect you, but she cannot eliminate them fully, you see. They're there. And besides, they're gods. They are immortals in their own world. So they cannot be destroyed like that, you see. Something else is required to remove them totally, you see. A halo of lightnings flamed around her head. So there is a prabha, halo around her, lightning flashing constantly around her head. A sovereignty, a great cestus zoned her robe. Sovereignty, Aishwarya, majesty, kingliness. She is a queen. And cestus, the belt which she puts on the waist, that belt. Zoned, surrounded. So she is surrounded by that belt, her robe. So this is the picture of Goddess Durga. She is wearing royal clothes. She is having a belt, shining lustrous belt. And majesty and victory sat with her. Majesty and victory. They are personifications. They are not qualification, they are personification. Majesty, Aishwarya, the goddess of majesty, victory, goddess of victory. That is what they stand for, you see. They are not just adjectives, words, nouns, you see. They are personalities actually, majesty. What we call Pradhi, Siddhi, like that, goddesses. You see. And majesty and victory sat with her. So on one side is majesty, on the other side is victory. So she is a royal queen sitting with majesty on one side and victory. Yes, I am the conqueror. She is there on the other side. Guarding in a wide cosmic battlefield. They are the ones who will guard the cosmic field. So her operation is in the cosmic, is on the cosmic battlefield. Cosmic, not beyond that, not beyond. Battlefield. Now this word battlefield is with a hyphen here. Battlefield. That is important from the poetic point of view. See, if you write without hyphen, it means battlefield. In other words, you have battlefield, long, short, short, from the point of rhythm. But when you have hyphen, battlefield, it gets a kind of an emphasis with that, you see. So, in fact, the word battlefield without hyphen appears in two places in Savitri, 64.26. 64.26. In fruitless battlefields of the abyss. In fruitless battlefields of the abyss. Got it? Yeah. Now the point is, you can see here, this is without the hyphen. What we have here is with hyphen. The rhythm is different. The poet is using that thing not as a fancy, puts hyphen somewhere and without hyphen somewhere. The emphasis, the stress becomes different. Here, in foodless battlefield to the abyss, you see, it goes different with a different rhythm. Here, cosmic battlefield, it gives kind of an emphasis here. You see. There is again one more, 151.4, 151. Reading is the same, meaning is the same. Battlefield, battleground, yeah. Meaning is the same. But the pointy is different. 151.4. Earth is the heroic spirit's battlefield. Earth is the heroic spirit's battlefield. See, the rhythm is different. So it is not, pardon me? 151.4 is without hyphen. Difference is from the point of poetry, rhythm, movement of sound.
Only the rhythm.
Yeah, that is the most important thing. That is the most important thing. Poetry is concerned with sound. The rhythm, how the sound goes up and down, you see. You have to read it with that tonation also. So it is not that the poet has forgotten to put hyphen somewhere and put hyphens elsewhere. It's not that. He is doing certain things in certain specific, desirable manner, purposeful manner, you see. Guarding in the white cosmic battlefield. You see. And now this one, 164, what we saw last time, 64.26. In fact, there are some more descriptions. We'll see that also as we move. Okay, let us read this 64.26. See the similarity, see the kind of inspiration which goes here in menacing tracts. See, this section is where Ashwapati is moving in the world of falsehood down below. He has descended into the world of night, and then he is saying the creatures, the beings of falsehood. In menacing tracts, in tortured solitudes. See, he uses the word menacing. And here you have got, she menaced. You see. She menaced, you see. In menacing tracts, a tortured solitude, companionless, he roamed through desolate ways. Ashwapati is going from place to place, where the Red Bull waits by the fordless stream. Red Bull by the fordless stream. This Red Bull, we are going to meet here shortly. We'll meet Red Bull also shortly here. Well, we'll see that, we'll come to that. A halo of lightnings flamed around her head. In sovereignty, a grey sister zoned her robe, and majesty and victory, their personalities, their figures, majesty and victory, sat with her, guarding in the white cosmic battlefield, again the flat equality of death. Death is the equalizer. For him, everybody is the same. King, pauper, beggar, whosoever is there, same. For death, there is no difference. He is the equalizer, you see. In fact, there is a poem by one of the English poets, Death, the Equalizer. And the all-leveling insurgent night, insurgent becomes, rises in opposition, in indignation, insurgent night, all leveling. She will destroy everything and put down everything to naught. The hierarchy of the ordered powers, so all the powers, etc., are made absolutely flat because of her. The high, changeless values, the peaked eminences, the privileged aristocracy of truth, and in the governing ideal's sun, the triumvirate of wisdom, love, bliss. Triumvirate. 3 in 1, a group of 3. This is, of course, very well known for the Italian mind. Triumvirate, the 3 Caesars at one time. So here we got the triumvirate of wisdom. That is what we would call jnana, love, prema, and bliss, ananda. They are forming a group of 3. The triumvirate of wisdom, love, bliss. Triumvirate, office or magistracy of Rome. 3 people governing the office, you see. Julius Caesar, Pompey, and Marcus Lucius. They were the first triumvirate. And then Octavian, Antony, Lepidus, the second triumvirate in the history, about 2000 years ago, you see. So this is actually the Roman description, triumvirate, but of wisdom, love, and bliss, not of men. Love and bliss. Now, wisdom is a feminine, love also is a feminine, bliss is also a feminine here, you see. They are forming her qualities, and she is ruling over them, you see. So in this whole long sentence of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 lines, we have a long description of various things. What do we have here? First we have the hierarchy of ordered powers. In this whole description, hierarchy of ordered powers, one above the other. The second is peaked eminences. In fact, before peak eminences, we got chainless values. So first is ordered power, second is chainless values, the third is peaked eminences, the fourth is aristocracy of truth. Then next is ideal sun. Then we have got wisdom, love and bliss. And then autocracy or the absolute light. So this is what she is governing. The whole description is full of all these qualities present there. Seen. Ordered powers, chainless values, peaked eminences, aristocracy of truth, ideal sun, wisdom, love, bliss, and absolute light. So this is what a halo of light is. She's sitting on a throne with all these possibilities. She's a throne, she's a queen, and therefore all these aristocratic descriptions of her is seen. August on her seat in the inner world of mind. So that is her station. Her station is in the inner world of mind. The mother of mind looked down on passing things. She's observing all the things going on below. Listen to the advancing trade of time, how time is moving, progressing from place to place. Saw the irresistible wheeling of the sun, how the suns in the sky are constantly moving. She's seeing, observing everything there in her inner world. And heard the thunder of the march of God, how through the passage of time, God is making progress, marching, thundering through. Amid the swaying forces in their strife, sovereign was her word of luminous command. So there is a power in her word. What she says, that becomes true. It carries strength, power. Sovereign was her word of luminous command. Her speech, like a war cry, rang or a pilgrim chant. The way the pilgrim will rise and keep on chanting the name of God, it is in that manner she is saying, my Lord, my Lord, my Lord, my Lord. She is progressing. Or like a war cry against the enemy, war cry. A charm restoring hope in failing hearts, aspired the harmony of her puissant voice, and then she is addressing to Savitri. Oh Savitri, I am thy secret soul. Yes, I am a part of your soul, secret soul. She is asking, she is telling to Savitri that she is her soul, this secret soul appears in the case of other two Mandarins also. I am thy secret soul, I am thy secret soul, I am thy secret soul. You see. She has come down into the human world. Oh Savitri, I am thy secret soul. That is what the first Madonna had told to Savitri. 122.6. She had come down to share the suffering of the world. And now here she says, oh Savitri, I am thy secret soul. Later on she will say, oh Savitri, again, I am thy secret soul. The third Madonna also is here. I come down into the human world. Come down from where? From the inner world of mind. Into the human world, outside, acting here. Come down into the human world, and the moment watched by an unsleeping eye, big eye, divine eye. It is with that drishti I am seeing the entire play of this world here. And a moment watched by an unsleeping eye, and a dark contrariety of earth's fate. contradictions, conflicts which constantly go on. I have been watching all these things. And the battle of the bright and somber powers. Bright between the battle between the gods and the hostile powers. I have been watching them. And the dark contrary of earth's fate and the battle of the bright and somber power. I stand upon earth's path of danger and grief, and help the unfortunate and save the doomed. I stand here on this path and try to help him as much as I can as possible. To the strong I bring the guerdon of their strength. So those who are mighty strong, who can bear the weight of my power, those who can bear the weight of my power, to them I reward, I give them gift, I give them something, guerdon, reward, gift. To the strong I bring the guerdon of their strength. To the weak I bring the armor of my foes, so they can protect themselves against the hostile forces. So she is protecting both. To the brave, she is giving the reward. To the weak, she is protecting by the armor of her force. To men who long, I carry the coveted joy. What they wish, they desire, for them I carry the joy. I am fortune, justifying the great and wise. Yes, they are waiting, great and wise, and for them I bring fortune, Deva. By the sanction of the plaudits of the crowd, plaudits, the applause of the crowd, I bring them. Then trampling them with arm heel of fate. So if they are opposing, I will crush them also. See. So she has both the qualities, you see. My ear is leaned to the cry of the oppressed. So what I hear the cry, you shout the cry, weeping of the poor oppressed. I topple down the thrones of tyrant kings. A cry comes from proscribed and hunted lives, which is prevented, prescribed, and hunted lives, appealing to me against a pitiless world, a voice of the forsaken and desolate, and the lone prisoner in his dungeon cell. So the prisoner is kept down below in the cell, in the dark room there, tied with a big ball of lead to his leg, and he is not able to move. But I hear his voice also. And the lone prisoner in his dungeon cell. So this was the medieval time when people were punished like that, the enemy was punished like that, putting them in the cell heavily. Men, hail in my coming, the Almighty's foes, or praise with thankful tears His Savior grief. So when I come, they feel happy because her coming is the coming of the Almighty's force itself. Well, this is what was happening. We'll see that thing again. Men, hail in my coming, the Almighty's foe, or praise with thankful tears His Savior grace. I smite the Titan who bestrides the world and slay the ogre in his blood-stained den. So the Titan, the Asura, who opposes me, I smite him with my spear. Well, actually, she's not carrying the spear, she's carrying the Trishula, trident, and the thunder, thunderbolt. I smite the Titan, smite the Titan. Well, that is the Greek simile. That is how Athena had overpowered Enceladus, as we saw last time, with a spear. She pushed him down under the mountain. I am the Titan who bestrides. I smite the Titan who bestrides the world and slay the ogre in his blood-stained den. Well, you see, there are certain things from a poetic point of view. I don't know. A cry comes, the cry of the oppressed. See, these two words are coming very close to each other. My ear is laid to the cry of the oppressed. A cry comes from the oppressed. But at the same time, these two cries, they don't clash with each other. You see, they are different cries. They have different they don't clash. Although they are so close to each other, they have different sound value. From a purely classical point of view of poetry, the repetition of the same word so close to each other is taken to be a blemish. The repetition of the same word coming very close to each other like that is not supposed to be good poetry, you see. But Shivanu doesn't care because each word in this place has to be pure, just, more just. It cannot be replaced. And it is finished there. My ear is laid to the cry of the oppressed. A cry comes. See, now this cry and this cry, they are different. Although the word is the same, but the cries are different. A cry comes from the proscribed and hunted life. Same thing happens here also. I am Durga, goddess of the proud and strong. So she is asserting herself who she is. She has already described, she is sitting on the throne, the land is at her feet. That is the conventional picture, so to say, of what we know of Durga, with her belt, shining belt studded with diamonds and jewels like that, and powerful in her eyes, looking. And Lakshmi, queen of the fair and fortunate, I wear the face of Kali when I kill, I trample the corpses of the demon hosts. So I don't care. I trample over the demon forces, all this is. I am Durga, goddess, the proud and strong, and Lakshmi, queen of the fair and fortunate. I wear the face of Kali when I kill. So she is at once Durga, Lakshmi, and Kali. In other words, it is the same goddess, same power who presents herself with different personalities in different situations. When it is a question of beauty, love, joy, sweetness, she will present herself as Lakshmi. When she wants to eliminate the enemy, she will become Kali. Those who are proud, majestic, for them, she is Durga. Now that reminds of Shivandu's Durga Stotra. She is the one who is riding on the lion. Shiva Vahini, she is one who is riding on the lion. I am Durga, goddess. Now, by the way, these three goddesses here are actually the goddesses belonging to the inner world of mind. Because she is coming from that, her station is that. Her station is the inner world. We have seen that now. So, these Lakshmi, Durga, Kali, as we see here, they belong to this domain. In other words, the same goddesses on another level will have another aspect of them. They are not the same throughout. When you say Kali or when you say Durga, she is not the same everywhere. On the vital plane, Durga is Durga of one type. In the mental plane, she is another Durga. In the spiritual plane, she is another Durga. In the highest supramental plane, she will be another Durga altogether. You see, they are different. You see. So, what we have here are the aspects of the same goddess in the world of the inner mind. I am Durga, goddess of the proud and strong, and Lakshmi, queen of the fair and fortunate. I wear the face of Kali. When I kill, I trample the corpses of the demon hosts. I am charged by God to do His mighty work. Yes, I am here to do the work of God. She is sitting there in the inner world, in the inner country. She is there for what? To do God's mighty work. What is the God's mighty work? To make the path clear for God's trade. I am charged by God to do His mighty work. Uncaring, I serve His will who sent me forth. So it is He who has sent me to stay here in the world of inner mind. And therefore I serve. What are the consequences? What is going to be the opposition? I don't care about that because I am deriving all my strength from Him. Reckless of peril and earthly consequences. I don't care about. So I will jump into action irrespective of the consequences. He is there to look after everything. I reason not of virtue and sin. Virtue and sin. Now this is the dichotomy which is quite prominent in the Christian theology. 7 virtues and 7 sins. 7 errors and 7 goods. She says, I reason not. I don't bother about ethics, about theology, nothing. I don't care about that thing at all. I am above, beyond that thing. It is not only on the ethical plane, not on the theological plane, but somewhere in the spiritual world, I do all my actions. My strength comes from something else. So it is not theology which counts for me. I reason not of virtue and of sin, but do the deed He has put into my heart. Whatever He has asked me to do, I am there to do that alone. I fear not the angry frown of heaven. If heaven becomes angry with my action, I don't care. Because I am charged by God to do His mighty work. I don't bother about consequences of that, you see. I fear not the angry frown of heaven. Does heaven frown? Yes, it can. It can. Because heaven has its own laws and rules and ways of doing things in a certain manner, and if it is not according to them, then heaven can become angry. Particularly the Greek gods, they can become very furious immediately, you see. I fear not the angry frown of heaven. I flinch not from the red assault of hell. I don't care the consequences, even if the hell is going to fall on me or heaven is going to frown. I don't bother, because I am charged by Him to do His work. I crush the opposition of the God, the opposition of the gods. The gods oppose her work. Tread down a million, that I can understand, tread down a million goblin obstacles. But how is it that she is going to crush opposition? Do the gods oppose what she is charged with? She is charged by Him alone, and here are the gods opposing what she is asked to do. Now, the opposition of the gods, we have to understand in terms of who these gods are. Who these gods are. Now, if you see, again, go back to the description. This Madonna belongs to the world of inner mind. Now, the gods are present everywhere. In all the places, in all the worlds, all the places the gods are present. Everywhere they are present, you see. And therefore, these gods would belong now to the plane around the inner mind, where she is seated, or below, in the subconscious gods, below that. And they will oppose. They will oppose. So, it is not the higher or superior gods she is going to meet. Her station is fixed. All the gods which are below there, those she is going to oppose. They are going to oppose her work, you see. I crush the opposition of the gods, tread down a million goblin obstacles. I guide man, because her concern is to guide man to the path of divine. See what a boon she has given to us. She is there always to take us on the path of the divine. She is always there for that purpose, on the path of the divine. That is, but at the same time, the path of the divine, she is able to take only from the point of view of, only in the perspective of the inner mind. Her station is fixed there. We have to always keep that bearing in mind. This Madonna belongs to a certain place, and it is from that point, okay, like this, go divine. I guide man. She says, I guide. I don't take him. Well, go like this, follow this path. And guard him from the red wolf and the snake, the red wolf and the snake. And guard him from the red wolf. So man is walking on the path of divine, and on the path he is going to meet the red wolf and the snake. He is going to meet the red wolf and the snake. Now that sentence which you have seen just now, this is a reference 64.26. In menacing tracks, in tortured solitudes, companionless he roamed to desolate ways. He is going from place to place. Where the red bull waves by the fordless stream. The stream is there, the stream is deep, fordless. You cannot cross that easily. That is the ford. Ford means very deep stream there, fordless. So you cannot cross that stream easily, you see. It's being deep, you see. Fordless stream, so it's very difficult. So you cannot cross the stream, and at the same time the red wolf is there to attack you. Where the red wolf waits by the fordless stream. This image, red wolf, therefore appears twice in Savitri. In both the places, he is putting the word wolf, capital. Now basically, red wolf, where the red bull waits by the fordless stream, menacing tracks, which is what we are seeing now. Being the cross of violence of destiny, a fruitless battlefield should have been, fought shadowy combats in mute, eyeless step, assaults of hell endured, and Titans stood, and both the fierce difficult. Now, red wolf is the power that tears the being. This is what wolf does. It will attack any creature and tear it off. You see. Now, there is basically Vedic reference to this wolf. Let not the wolf, this is wrong. Let not the wolf, let not the she wolf harm you. She wolf is more dangerous than male wolf. In the Rigveda, first mandala, 183 Sukta, 4th. Let not the wolf, let not the she wolf harm you. That is what the Vedic Rishi is saying. Fierce enemies are red wolf and snake. Now, in future poetry, Shivindu describes something about wolf. The word wolf, the origin of which is no longer present to our minds. Well, actually, he is talking of wolf in Sanskrit, vraka. Vraka. He is talking of the word for wolf in Sanskrit, vraka. The word wolf, the origin of which is no longer present. How that vraka has come, of that we have no knowledge now. But vraka is there. So we identify, okay, this is wolf, this is this, we identify. We give tags to objects. We give tags to objects. We don't convey the contents of that object in terms of sound. In terms of sound. We say, okay, this is spectacle, this is stone. But what is stone? Means it's tag. But the moment you say stone, the word stone sound should convey something of this quality. It doesn't get conveyed, you see. So he says, the word wolf, the origin of which is no longer present to our mind, denotes to our intelligence a certain living object. Okay, this is that, you see. This is wolf. We'll call this person a wolf, you see, like that. Denotes to our intelligence a certain living object, and that is all. The rest we had to do ourselves. In Sanskrit word vraka, vraka means tearer, who tears. The word vraka is not the animal's name. The word vraka means who tears, tearing. The word vraka means tearing. Brooke, here, came in the end to do the same thing. But originally, it expressed a sensational relationship between the wolf and man, which most affected the man's life. Means the word vraka is a psychological thing. The moment you say vraka means you feel as if you are getting torn psychologically. And it did so by certain quality in the sound which readily associated it with the sensation of tearing. See, you have seen also many cases, you tear a paper and sound that trash, you see, like that. You call it trash then, you see. You call it trash, you see. Which readily associated it with the sensation of tearing. This must have given early language a powerful life, a concrete vigor, because you are deriving the meaning, the content, the sense from the sound. It is not from the tag. It is not from the tag that this is the stone. Whatever the word is there, sound is there, it is that which is going to convey the sense of the object. Vigor in our direction, a natural poetic force which it has lost, however greatly it has gained in precision, clarity. Now, of course, you say, you open a dictionary, a lexicon, this means this, this means this, this means this, but it does not really convey the sense of sound which is there behind those words. That is gone. That is gone. And the real theory of language would mean how the sound conveys the sense, how the object is conveying its quality. That is the real theory of language, you see. That is got lost now. So we have got now digital dictionaries, encyclopedias, okay, this, you keep on verifying that. What we have got to see in dictionaries like that is snake, serpent. The serpent occurs in both the Hebrew Bible and New Testament. The serpent was a symbol of evil power. Now here you see, the serpent was a symbol of evil power. Symbol is a tag. But when you say something in Sanskrit, the root of that word, it does not convey like a same. It conveys its quality, its nature, what it is, you see. And chaos from the underworld, as well as a symbol of fertility, life and healing. Hebrew for snake is also associated with divination, etc. In the epic of Gilgamesh, the Mesopotamian epic, Gilgamesh loses the power of immortality. See, he was guided through a certain world, accompanied by his friend, and he picked up a herb by which he would get immortality. By carrying that herb, he would come back to earth and become immortal. But then, while he was coming back, he fell asleep with the herb by his side. A serpent came and destroyed it. Gone. See. So this stolen by the snake loses the power of immortality, stolen by a snake. That is what the snake does. Ouroboros is an ancient symbol of a serpent eating its own tail. You have seen many times. That represents the perpetual cyclic renewal of life. Start from birth, live again, and die. Represent the perpetual cycle of renewal life, the eternal return, and the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. That is what the serpent eating its own tail means, leading to immortality. The book of Genesis refers to the serpent who was partly responsible for the fall of man. That, of course, we know from the story of Adam and Eve, how Eve was seduced by Satan. He had assumed the shape of a serpent, and he whispered something in the ear of Eve, and then she ate the fruit of the forbidden tree, God placed Adam in the garden to tend it and warned Adam not to eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. He had warned him that Adam should not eat the fruit of knowledge and good. For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. You will become mortal. The serpent tempts Eve to eat of the tree. But Eve tells the serpent what God had told her. The serpent replied that she would not surely die, and that if she eats the fruit of the tree, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods if you eat the tree fruit, knowing good and evil. Then you will know what is good and evil by eating the fruit of the tree of knowledge. Eve ate the fruit and gave it to Adam. He also ate. Now, although Adam was arguing against himself whether he should follow the example of his wife, but then Milton says, due to the vehemence of love, Adam succumbed to the pleas of Eve and ate the fruit. Vehemence of love. He ate the fruit, and that was the collapse, the fall. See. God, who was walking in the garden, finds out and to prevent Adam and Eve from eating the fruit of the tree of life. See, already they have eaten. Now they should not eat the tree of life, because eating the tree of life will become immortal. They are banished from the garden, and angelic guard is posted. The snake is punished by being made to crawl on his belly in the dust. Satan. Now, this is the biblical story. Now, the fact that if God has told not to eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge, don't eat, it means that you are surely bound to eat. You cannot but eat it, you see. Now, this is perhaps the way of saying it is intended that it should be eaten. Otherwise, why should that be said? Otherwise, there is no progress. If you want to go from the fixed vital plane of living life, go into higher and better, you have to abandon it. You have to eat the tree, for the fruit of the tree of knowledge, then only you can make progress. After Adam, from the vital Eden, he has to come into the mental world. And the arrival of man in the mental world of Adam here means that he must eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge. So that is in a certain sense implied by saying, no, don't eat, and therefore I will eat, and bear the consequences, you see. Otherwise there is no progress, you see. There is no progress. The serpent tempted. So in that sense you can say that this serpent is playing a certain meaningful purpose in the scheme of things. He is tempting her to eat, otherwise she would not have eaten. The moment she eats, she persuades her husband to eat it, and the fall occurs. Then the new cycle of creation begins with that. The Eden is left. You have been living in the paradise of earthly life, but that paradise of earthly life is limited. You are not able to go beyond that. In order to cross that paradise, you have to cross that limit and get into the mental. And therefore, this has to happen. And therefore, the part played by Satan as a serpent is a kind of a positive part. He is doing something very good. Jesus uses this imagery of the serpent. Ye serpents, ye generation of vipers, how can ye escape the damnation of Gehenna? There is a small story by Edgar Allan Poe about this temptation, this eating. The cask of Amontillado invokes the image of serpent as a symbol of petty vengefulness. Well, that is what we have reduced it to, you see. The story is told from the point of view of the vindictive Montessor. Means basically serpent is taken here as a vindictive creature, vengeance. Well, this is what we have been saying, good and evil, but we'll skip that. And guard him from the red bull and the snake. So this is what she is doing. We have seen what the red wolf is, what the snake is, and this goddess of might, she is guarding man on the path to the divine from the red wolf and the snake. I set in his mortal hand my heavenly sword. What else you want? What else you want? She is not giving you fountain pen, writing pen. She wants a sword. She wants a sword because you have to fight against the enemy. You have to fight against the enemy. I set in his mortal hand my heavenly sword and put on him the breastplate to the gods. So he is now protected against the attacks. You see. I break the ignorant pride of human mind and lead the thought to the wideness of the truth. I rend man's narrow and successful life and force his sorrowful eyes to gaze at the sun. Yes, otherwise you get stuck there. I force him to look into the sun. You think that you'll get blinded, but please look into the sun. You'll see new light there. That he may die to earth and live in his soul. That is her concern. That he may die to earth and live in his soul. Well, that is what she is saying, but I don't think I will entirely go by what she is asking me to do. I don't want to die to earth. Of course, I want to live in my soul, but without dying to earth. But that is a station. That is a station. A necessity at a certain point. I know the goal. I know the secret route. Secret route where? Because she is guiding path to the divine. To the path to the divine. I know that route. I know the secret. I know the goal. I know the secret route. I have studied the map of the invisible worlds. I am the battle set, the journey star. Yes, look at the star and follow his directions and move, move, move. Journey star. I have studied the map of the invisible worlds. Now the invisible worlds, the maps of these invisible worlds are beyond the reach of Google. You cannot. Google cannot trace these invisible world, maps of the universe. They cannot draw, you see. Well, we have got very detailed map. Our location is also shown on the Google map, Shalva Boots, where it is there. It is there on the Google map. So if you ask for Shalva Boots, it will show you the directions. But this is not an invisible world. Invisible worlds. I am the battle set, the journey star. But the great obstinate world resists my word. And the crookedness and evil in man's heart is stronger than reason, profounder than the pit. So that is the quality of our crookedness, of the evil which we house. And the crookedness and evil in man's heart. Of course, this is man's heart. And the crookedness and evil in man, not in woman's heart, is stronger than reason. It cannot be in woman's heart because she has no reason. Profounder than the pit. And a malignancy of hostile powers puts craftily back the clock of destiny to turn it back, turn it back. The crookedness of man's heart and evil, which can put craftily back the clock of destiny. This is what we have witnessed during the Holocaust. What real havoc it had created. Millions of people were just burned in fire like that, or no cause, or no cause. That is the crookedness, that is the evil in man's heart. Man has lent himself to that. The Holocaust is the most glaring example of recent times, you see, Holocaust. And Shebendu says, had Hitler succeeded in his march of victory, that would have put the clock of destiny back by 50,000 years. The civilization would have been pushed back by 50,000 years. The clock of destiny would have been pushed back to that kind of the vital world would have sunk, from which it would have taken 50,000 years for us to come to this state. He says the clock of destiny would have been pushed back by 50,000 years had Hitler succeeded in his attempt. Pushed craftily back the clock of destiny, and mightier seems than the eternal will. Luckily, it seems, it is not. But it looks that it is mightier than the eternal will. It happened. It looked that Hitler is going to conquer. Hitler is going to overcome the eternal will, but it was not to be so. And we have seen what happened. How the mother cheated him. How the mother cheated him. And that was the fall of Hitler. And mightier seemed than the eternal will. The cosmic evil is too deep to unroot. The cosmic suffering is too vast to heal. Now, this is the entire summary of our existence. Evil is too deep, suffering is too vast. This is what we are. Now, it is deep and vast simultaneously, which is actually beyond the powers of this Madonna. She herself is unable to tackle this evil and this suffering. She is describing it, it's too deep. She cannot. Sorry, I am helpless. I can lead you. And then she says, a few I guide who pass me toward the light. A few I save, the mass falls back unsaved. A few I help, the many strive and fail. So, see, only a few can come to the demands of her power and work. Those who can come to those demands, they are saved, they are protected, they are guided. And she can do something for them. She can do something for them. Now, she is talking of only a few who can really come up to this point of expectation, who can come up to this point, only few. And this is only in the world of the inner mind. It is only in the world of the inner mind, where she is seated. Higher powers, out of these few, how many can really go to those powers yet? It is kind of getting now filtered, you see. A few have come to this point. Again, of these few, only a few will go here. Only a few will go up there, you see. So that is the entire hierarchy of operation. But my heart, although there are few, she says, but But my heart I have hardened, and I do my work. Because I do my work, because I am charged by God to do His mighty work. Although if you come, I will continue to do my work. I am charged by God to do His mighty work. My heart I have hardened, and I do my work. Slowly the light grows greater in the east. Light, east. Of course, it's not geographical east and light, you see. East is a land where the sun rises, and the sun can rise geographically anywhere. Geographically anywhere. Sun, east, there are of course spiritual suns. The spiritual sun can rise, can light up anywhere. That is the east. So when my sun rises, that is east for me. Where your sun rises, that is east for you. That east of yours may not be the same thing, the east of me. They could be different. Slowly the light grows greater. Well, this is what happens in the morning, the light grows very slowly. And of course, he's talking of L, capital L, the supramental light, the divine light. Slowly it is coming here. Well, man has gone through various stages. He has come up to reason, he will go even beyond that. And the sun will rise suddenly there. Slowly the world progresses on God's road. Slowly the world progresses on God's road. And there is a certain amount of her contribution towards that. There are other powers also playing their role. In this slow march on the God's road, she is doing her part. There are other powers also, they are doing their respective parts. The mother of might, the mother of pity, divine pity, the mother of wisdom, they will also do their part, and slowly it will go on. He seals in my task, it cannot fail. I shall hear the silver swing of heaven's gate when God comes out to meet the soul of the world. What a beautiful line. When God comes out to meet the soul of the world. Monosyllabic line, emphasizing each word. When God comes out to meet the soul of the world. Of the world. Or when God, that is an am, comes out, I will read it as spondy, strong. When God comes out to meet the soul of the world. See? That is how we break this candle. When God comes with a kind of force, spondy, emphasize. So the poetic technique also carries the entire sense that rhythm, sound, they are important in conveying the sense. I shall hear the silver swing of heaven's gates. This was in 1947. She even wrote this canto around that time. But now, the silver swing of heaven's gate has already opened out on 29 February 1956. I don't know how many heard that silver swing. The mother says, of the golden door. And she smashed the door. And the light paraded down here. I shall hear. She has already heard. It has come. It has happened now. During those 10 years. He seals my task, it cannot fail. I shall hear the silver swing of heaven's gate when God comes out to meet the soul, the world. So this is the story. This is her account. She is presenting to Savitri. This is what I am. This is what I have been doing. I am charged by God to do His mighty work, and I am hearing. Yes, one day God will come. The door will open and you will enter into this one. You see. Because she says, the road is there, I know all that thing, this is going to happen. Now, in answer to that, she is speaking from the subliminal. below the subconscious, the response is there in man, because this is all happening in the inner world, in the inner country of ours. She spoke, and from the lower human world, an answer, a warped echo, met her speech. The voice came through the spaces of the mind. Again, spaces of the mind, you see. He is the mental creature. The voice from the subconscious, the mental, the subconscious. It is that who is responding to this Madonna. A warped echo made a speed. The voice came to the spaces of the mind of the dwarf Titan, the deformed chained god, who strives to master his nature's rebel stuff and makes the universe his instrument. This is the Asura who is rising in us, the mental being. Deformed chain god, the dwarf Titan. Now, perhaps the nearest we can see of this description is in Prometheus. The nearest of it you can see in him. It is he who brought the fire to man. It is he who, in the war between the Olympians and the Titans, Titanomachy, Prometheus has stayed away from the war. He did not join his other brothers, or Titans. He stayed away from that. And when the Titans were defeated by the Olympians, he was kept there by Zeus, because he didn't oppose them. But he was told that remain where you are. He was in love with man. He wanted to do everything for man. Prometheus. And Zeus had forbidden him from doing that. In defiance with that, he stole the fire from heaven and gave it to man. And that fire today is in our micro oven, is in the atom bomb also. Now, it has come down to that point. It is there in the atom, that fire. It has been now produced in the fire, in the atom itself, that fire. Man has not sufficiently grown spiritually to take possession of such a fire, and therefore all the havoc. And therefore it was kind of premature for Prometheus to have brought down that fire and given to man. But for that defiance, he paid a price. He was chained to the rock, chained to the god, chained to the rock. And Zeus eagle would come and eat the liver in the daytime. The night it will be healed, and went on and on and on like that, till Heracles saved him, loosened the chain and freed him. Prometheus unbound at that time. But he has quality of his own. What is the quality of his own? Ego, who claims earth, etc. The ego of this great world of desire. Now he is talking of the desires world of desire, not world desire. Whole world of desire. See. Ego of this great world desire claimed earth and the wide heavens for the use of man, That is Prometheus. His focus is on man. Head of the life he saves on earth. His representative and conscious soul and symbol of evolving light and force, evolving light and force, and vessel of the Godhead that must be. So, who is man? He is the head of life. He is the representative. He is the conscious soul. He is a symbol of light and force. Well, this is a great thing about man. And vessel of the Godhead that must be. So these are the fine things of man. And it is for them that this Titan is there to help him, to give him whatever he can, you see. A thinking animal, nature's struggling lord. This is what man is. He is a thinking animal. He is struggling lord of nature. Has made of her his nurse and tool and slave. This man himself has made nature his nurse, his tool, his slave. In fact, that is what we have done. We have conquered spaces, we have conquered mountains, we have conquered spaces, we have gone in the outer regions also. He pays to her as wage and emolument inescapably by deep love of things, his heart's grief and his body's death and pain. His pains are her means to grow. His pains are her means to grow, to see and feel. How can you grow without pain? She uses that pain for growth. His death assists immortality. That is a great thing. It is through death that we are moving towards immortality. It is death which is helping us to go towards immortality. Death is a helper on the path of immortality today. This has to change. Instead of death now, transform death who should come and lead us on this path. His hearts of grief, his pains are. Now, his death assists her immortality. Her nature. Nature continues to be there. Nature. Men die, but man is immortal. Man lives on. The flower decays, flowers decay, but the flower is always there. Today's rose is there, tomorrow again rose, other rose. So it is that kind of vanishing immortality in which we live. Men die, but man is immortal. A tool and slave of his own slave and tool. Yes, we become slave. You are using to computer. Computer is a tool, but I become a slave of computer. A tool and slave of his own slave. See, first he says that tool and slave. So, tool itself has become a slave of tool. And slave has become the tool. See, the reversal, poetically. He praises his free will and his mastermind. He thinks that he is having free will. He can do whatever he likes. But actually he is bound by nature. It is my pleasure to eat this sweet or that fruit or that thing. But it's not really that. It's not my will, my liking. It is nature who is making me force to do that. You have to eat this, you have to do this. Because your constitution, your body is made that way for your living, for survival. We have absolutely no free will. We are governed very cleverly by nature. We have no free will. He praises his free will, therefore we simply pray, and is pushed by her upon her chosen path. Possessor, he is possessed, and ruler, he is ruled. Her conscious automaton, so we have become her instrument. Nature is asking us to do that thing, and we are doing those things. Her desires due, so this is our condition. His soul is a guest, a sovereign, mute and inert. His body, her robot. His life, her way to live. Well, we are helpless in the hands of nature. Even men. The animal trees, they are full bound by nature. But what we call as free will, we really don't have the free will at all, you see. We think that we are enjoying our free will, that I am enjoying my plate, my dish. But that is the kind of a dish only which will help you. You are forced by that, you see. Her body, her robot, his life, her way to live. His conscious mind, a strong revolted soul. The voice rose up and smote the inner sun most fierce. It can smite the inner sun. That is the power of this Titan. He is the helper of man, but it can also strike at the inner sun. The voice rose up and smote the inner sun. Well, obviously, this is all happening in the inner world, therefore, the inner sun. I am the heir of the forces of the earth. Slowly, I make my right to my estate, a growing Godhead in the divinized mud. I climb a claimant to the throne of heaven. That is my claim, that I must reach heaven and occupy the throne of heaven. That is what this Titan says. I have been driven out from heaven. I must go back and occupy that throne. The voice rose up and smote some inner sun. I am the heir of the forces of the earth. Slowly I make good my right to my state. This is all my possession. Now I am claiming back those things. A growing Godhead in a divinized mud. Divinized mud. I climb a claimant to the throne of heaven.